Hello. Hello, hello, everybody out there. It's me, Mel. It's me. I'm trying something different today. Actually, two things different today. It is so good to see you all today. So, first and foremost, for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, you will now notice that I am also on TikTok. Yes. So, for those of you watching on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, I am adding a microphone to see if the sound quality is one to be desired. I have yet to be proven that it is. So, I did do a live yesterday and I thought it sounded pretty good. So, hopefully, this show will sound just as good with the microphone. And which show is this? This is spiritual as fuck, y'all. My name is Mel, Enlightened Spirit. I am a spiritual psychic advisor, medium, and coach, and event planner, and writer, and good friend, and I'm a dynamic person, just like you are a dynamic person. And this show is here so you can see all of your magic, revel in it, and use it to your highest and greatest good, not just for evil. Anyways, so what we do here is so there's a friend of mine calling. Let's see if we can hear her. Hey Meg, you're calling during my live. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Meg is doing good. Well, this is my first time on TikTok, so we're gonna have to call you back, or maybe one of these days we'll have you as a guest. I think she's speechless. Talk to you soon, Meg. Bye. Sorry, all you guys out there on Instagram. Hopefully, Meg is on now, and I'm gonna turn off. I may make sure I'm on Do Not Disturb. Boop, boop, boop. Make sure I don't get any phone calls while I'm streaming live. But anyways, moving right along, this is the show where you can put your questions in the chat on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And so, just to get a little bit of house cleaning out of the way, who the fuck is I? I am Mel, Enlightened Spirit. Here's my business card. There you go. So I can help you identify, then leverage your talents, treasures, and abilities so you can just live a life full of enlightenment, full of more radiance. I make a soul to soul connection when we have our one to one readings. And this is an important offering for me, this spiritual as fuck show, because we are still able to connect through all the sacred powers that are out there, even though I'm speaking to you online, even though I'm speaking to masses of you on social media. Somewhere, somehow, the messages that you need to hear are heard, and it is an honor and a privilege to be able to deliver them to you. So, if you were wondering, gee, how can I hang out with Mel and enjoy some of the things that she's doing? Well, you can do that this Saturday, February 15th, in the Plymouth Meeting Mall in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. It is the Love, Healing, Hope Psychic Fair. It is an event I'm hosting, and I've curated the best Akashic record readers, massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, pranic healing therapists. I have amassed a cadre of amazing people to help bring love into your life this Valentine's Day. Admission is free, and any service of reading or healing is $40. Now, you can pre purchase your service on lovehealinghope.eventbrite.com, or you can just walk on into the Plymouth Meeting Mall. It will be at the Awaken Center, and that's next to Bed Bath and Beyond and across from Legoland. So come join us this Saturday, February 15th, and get your love. Oh, yeah. Come and get your love. If you're in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. Yes, that was me. So, anyways, if you can't get enough of Mel in person, or you just can't make it, you can read my blog, and check out some of my past podcasts. I am bringing one of my podcasts back. And that is Enlightened with Mel. That's Lightened with Mel on Substack. You can read about my exploits and all the things that I think. And hopefully, it'll be able to help you add a little bit more light to your journey, because that is my fervent wish and prayer. And so, hopefully, you will find any number of my offerings there to help you and assist you whenever you need it. So, we're going to move on to the reading portion of the show. And this is where I use my trusty friends, the affirmators. The affirmators. And I am delivering a message to you that the universe wants you to consider, to think about at this time. And as I do this, you are more than welcome to include a question, to submit a question into the chat. I do try to keep it relatively anonymous, so I'm not going to say so and so is saying this, so and so is saying that. But stick your question in the chat and I will answer it to the best of my ability. But for now, let's see what the affirmators want us to know about this week moving forward, right? Because we've had some interesting weeks, haven't we? Oh, it's this card. What's this say? Follow your heart. Oh, Jesus. I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. Excuse me. Just in time for Valentine's Day. Follow your heart. I'm always rewarded when I follow my heart. I trust that the GPS in my heart knows all the best routes. And when it seems like it's taking too long to get what I want, I know that's because there's some cool, weird stuff to see along the way. Yes. Following your heart. Oh my gosh, I love to hate this subject. I don't know about you guys, but my heart is sometimes cooperating with my head way too much. And through the course of my growth, I've been learning how my heart speaks to me through my body. And so I've been learning how, like, if it comes from up here, then it isn't necessarily my heart. Lots of times it's my ego speaking. If it comes from me, like, down here, then more likely than not, it's my heart speaking to me. But honestly, following the directions of my heart is freaking hard, because oftentimes my heart wants me to do this awesome, really great thing, and I'm scared as hell. I don't want to fucking do it. It's either too uncomfortable or it's going to leads to too much uncertainty. And yes, it takes too long. Sometimes I don't even realize that the thing that I want, that I think I want, that's taking too long, sometimes I don't realize that that very thing is maybe not the thing for me, and I have to let it go, let it go, let it go. So, although this card is saying follow your heart, I'm saying that in order to do this, we need to learn what our hearts sound like. We have to learn what it feels like to hear your heart speaking clearly, to differentiate between our egos, between our fears, differentiate between the things that our mothers and fathers have said versus the things that we believe society is saying about us in this lifetime. And I never thought it would be so prevalent. I actually have to figure out what my heart is saying nowadays. And I'm not going to lie, right? I've been like trying to date, trying to get out there into the world. And, it's been an interesting adventure. And the truth is, my heart is saying, Melanie, you're not beat for chasing after guys. You're not. You're not beat for chasing after girls either. My heart is saying, Melanie, you have to chase after yourself. And it took me some time to realize it. So when I was getting all butthurt because I didn't have a date for a Friday night, or hell, Valentine's Day was coming up, and I'm like, I have nothing to do for Valentine's Day. My heart said, Melanie, you don't chase after people, you bring people to you. And that's how I got the idea for the Love Healing Hope Psychic Fair. Why not offer people a space to come on Valentine's Day? You don't have to be connected to one person on Valentine's Day to feel good about yourself. You can share your talents with people that you admire, people you respect, and create a forum where other people can be around the people you admire and respect. And that's how you bring more love into your Valentine's Day. not trying to find somebody to bang. So that is how I'm spending my Valentine's Day. And it's interesting because that's bringing me more love, more insight, more knowledge than what my mind says that my love should look like. That's bringing me a lot more fulfillment than my mind tells me I should have in terms of fulfillment. The paradigm was get invited out to dinner, dress all fancy, go to a hotel room, and make the rafters shake. But nowadays, it's not. It's about creating meaningful connection, and that's really what my heart craves. And honestly, that has changed the trajectory of my dating life. It has changed the trajectory of my love life. And I can't say I'm entirely comfortable with it all, but hey, in order to get comfortable with something, you have to practice. Practice, 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 practice. So, moving right along for our cards, the messages Spirit wants us to hear. And again, please feel free to put your questions in the comments. The first card we have is, oh, actually, that's the wrong deck, but we'll start with this one anyway. It's environment. Hey, guys, when you're looking for love, when you are trying to listen to your heart, it is imperative that we notice the environments we are in, the environments that we are surrounding ourselves with. So if we have a lot of people in our lives that are second guessing us, if we've got people in our lives that are invalidating our feelings, our thoughts, our behaviors, even though we think we're doing the right things for ourselves, it's time to think about it. Where are you spending your time? And is this the best use of your time? Is this the best use of your energy, right? Uh, next card we have in our drawing is soul forgiveness. Ugh. So they say, hey, readers, every time you use your cards to do a reading, you're going to get a reading for yourself. And honestly, this card right here has been like the card of my week. Soul forgiveness. This has a lot to do with listening to your heart. Inside of our hearts, we're going to notice that there are a lot of fissures, a lot of fractions from where we had put our hearts out there to be handled by clumsy humans, right? And these clumsy humans, and it wasn't malicious, it wasn't intentional, but these clumsy humans have managed to mishandle our hearts. And there are fractures, there are chips, there are dings inside of our hearts that keep us from wanting to love, not just them, but love ourselves. There are so many things that I've heard in my life, that I've experienced in my life, that make loving, following my heart towards opening up to more love, so difficult. And so, this card right here, soul forgiveness, is really about forgiving yourself for not knowing what you didn't know, digging deeper into the art of forgiveness and apology, to not condone the wrongs that were done, but have more compassion and a little bit more levity surrounding the harms that you experience, because not all of the harms you experience or that I've experienced were done in a way to cause me personal harm. They were not purposely done that way, nor were they designed that way. I've learned over a course of time that human beings we're selfish. We have to be. No one is going to work harder towards our bottom line than we are. And so, as a result, we make decisions and choices that fulfill our bottom line. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's when we start to integrate with other individuals while we're striving for our bottom line, while cooperating with others, that we notice that sometimes our bottom line gets in the way of somebody else's bottom line. And somebody inevitably gets butthurt, annoyed, offended by our strivings, right? When you get offended by someone, it's important to know that it's not about you. It's never about you. And I know that is like completely an anathema to what we've been taught, right? If someone's upset, we have to take ownership of their feelings and figure out our part in it. And 9 times out of 10, your part in it is like zero, okay? Because it is all about the person, the individual who's initiating the actions. And it is up to you to understand where your actions begin and where your actions end. So, when you're following your heart, when you're interacting with people and you get hurt, offended, you have to understand it is not about you. It is another clumsy human handling your heart, which you gave to them, right? and they dropped it. They mismanaged it. It was not malicious. They're trying to meet their ends, just like you're trying to meet your ends. Now, if you want to say you're not trying to meet your ends, you're only there to serve others, that's a lie because you can't. Even being there to serve others is you trying to meet your own personal end. So, okay, following your heart also means being a little bit selfish because selfish is not a bad thing. If we were to focus on ourselves, if we were to forgive ourselves for focusing on ourselves, if we were to forgive ourselves and understand that the shit that goes down is not about ourselves, we would be able to have a more sturdy texture to our heart. We wouldn't find that every sling and arrow that comes towards our hearts would affect it so deeply because the human experience requires risk, and risk means that you're going to get hurt. But don't worry, this is a process. And you cannot heal, you cannot fix, manage, control, and change all in one day. Following your heart is a process that we listen to our bodies, we listen to our minds, we listen to our spirits, and we seek direction from those around us so we can listen to our hearts effectively. Part of listening to our hearts effectively means awakening your true self, getting to the root of who you actually are, how you operate, and what the hell you want in this world. We have spent so much time telling ourselves that we want things that other people have, or things that we think we should have. When in actuality, this whole existence has been about us figuring out what we truly, truly want in this lifetime. And that brings us to listening to our hearts, being our true selves, and soul forgiveness in our home life and our work lives. This card is really about distraction. It is really hard to sit down and get to know what your head and your heart, what they're saying, how they cooperate with each other, how they are helping each other, how they're derailing a situation, what your ego really sounds like, what your fear-based body actually sounds and feels like. And what this is saying is that many times we use our work, our home life to distract ourselves from really getting close to really hearing ourselves. And that's why I've offered the Love Healing Hope Psychic Fair this Saturday, February 15th. Because at this psychic fair, you're going to be able to connect with yourself. And that is the greatest gift you can give anybody for Valentine's Day. I am a member of this group, and they have a saying where two sickies don't make a welly. And at this point in my life, I understand that it is so imperative that I get healthier and healthier, not just emotionally, but physically, spiritually, and any other Lee that I can think of. I need to be healthier so I can attract, so I can draw towards myself a healthier person. So it isn't a sickie and a sickie making a welly, or a welly and a sickie trying to make whatever the fuck that is, my last marriage. Ah, ba-dum-bum. Now, no, but it's two people at least on the pathway to wellness so they can make a more dynamic union. But I cannot even consider having a dynamic union until I start to address the things in my environment that make me second guess my heart, that put me in fear, that don't allow me the space and energy to get deeper to myself, into myself. I can't even think about joining with another person unless I start practicing the art of forgiveness, apology, and forgiveness, digging deeply and seeing what that means to me in this lifetime. How do I really take in forgiveness? How do I really offer an apology? How do I offer forgiveness? What is it like to live as someone who has forgiven and has moved on and has acceptance because of this forgiveness? I can't even think about being connected to another person until I learn what my heart sounds like. Learning the difference between my head, my fears, my ego, and my heart. And the easiest hack that I have right now in how to hear my heart is knowing that my heart resonates inside my body. So I get a lot of information about listening to my heart through listening to my body. And so if my toes are scrunching up or my abdomen is hurting, it's because my heart is trying to tell me something. I cannot even think about getting involved in a relationship with another person intimately until I awaken my true self. There is a boss bitch out there. And she's not like a bossy bitch. She's just a little bit like a boss bitch. Someone who is just like kind of cool, kind of quirky, kind of silly, kind of serious all at the same time. It's kind of strange. Serious and weird at the same time. And awaken that true self so I can present that true self whenever I'm trying to interact with another person, especially if I'm trying to interact with another person on an intimate level. I think it was Chris Rock. He says that in the first 6 months of a relationship, you're getting that person's representative. Now, I've been fooled by the representative, and I have to say, for humility's sake, to keep it humble, I know that I have fooled others with my representative. So, awakening my true self is going to be the surefire way for me to not lead with my representative, but instead to lead with the truest version of Melanie unapologetically, so I can engage in intimate connections with others more authentically and hopefully with more success upon listening to my heart, right? And then the balancing of home and work. Listening to my heart requires that I not distract myself with the laundry, the dishes, I don't know, the Facebook, the social media, the TikToks. I do that. I don't like to hear or see or feel the things about myself that I am not overtly aware of. And I will tell you, this week has been a week of healing and revelations where I was getting a lot of messaging about my past lives, about who I am, who I'm not. And actually, I have to admit, every time I went into my Akashic records and I did that work, I had to take a nap. And that was me carving out space to take care of myself, to really listen to what's going on in my soul, in my mind, in my body, so I can continue to connect with people in an authentic, in a genuine, in a real heart centered place, by not allowing my selfishness or my self centeredness, my own opinions and outlooks and ideas to get in the way of giving messages that are purely love, light, hope, spirit based, getting myself out of the way so I can serve others, because that's what I want to do. That's the intimate connections I really thrive on. Yes, do I want to get banged by someone and have a romantic relationship? Yeah, I do. And so by working on myself, I am going to open up my spirit and my time to be able to do that as well. But I can't go into that shit willy-nilly because I don't want to cause harm in that department. So I'm going to work on myself first. And that's what these cards have all been saying today. They've been saying, work on yourself. Give yourself the gift of knowing yourself, of forgiving yourself, of not distracting yourself from the time, energy it's required to know and be with yourself. And then if you don't have any plans for Valentine's Saturday, February 15th, then come to Plymouth Meeting Mall. So if you're in Central Jersey, it is really not that far. It is about maybe an hour and a half. It's a nice drive. Come to the Plymouth Meeting Mall at the Awaken Center for Human Evolution for the Love, Healing, Hope Psychic Fair. You can learn a lot more about this psychic fair on Eventbrite, and that is lovehealinghope.eventbrite.com. And there we will have psychic readers, Akashic record readers, Reiki healers, pranic healing healers. We'll have massage. We'll have sacred tea ceremonies. We will have good people sharing love, insight, healing, and hope. Give yourself the gift of showing up for you at our wonderful event. So every healing and reading is $40, and massage starts at $20 for 15 minutes. You are your own Valentine. Take care of it. And if you don't show up at the psychic fair, okay, fine. Do something good for yourself. Don't distract yourself with some Netflix and popcorn and chicken wings and chocolate and just gorge yourself this Valentine's. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Instead, invest in yourself, be kind to yourself, show yourself the love that you want to conjure in your life. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope that this reading has given you the courage, the permission, the impetus to do the same as well. And so, thank you all for showing up today, supporting me in my journey. And I will tell you that this is the first spiritual as fuck live that I've done on TikTok. So, yay, yay, yay. And as per usual, if you have any questions or concerns, please send me a message. I love messages and I am pretty good at answering them. I typically answer within 24 hours. I will say that Monday has been my day off, so I've been steering away from the computer, from the technology, but I'll be right on top of that crap again on Tuesday. But send me a message in my DMs. You can definitely scan my QR code. It's up there in the box. And you can follow me at In-Lightened Spirit. That's In-Lightened Spirit on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I'm Mel. It's been a real pleasure hanging out with you guys today. And I have to say, I'm in love with Restream because this music, this house music that they play is actually banger. And this is when we say, later, Gators. I'll see you later. And we dance it out. Yes. Mhm. And.